It's 7:40, and here's your almanac, presented by Provident Tradesmen's Bank and Trust Company. July 21st, 1958. The weather may not be the same in the good old days, and if you're talking about summer heat and thinking back to 1936, then you're right. The summer of 1936 was hot. Since then, the summers have been rather tame affairs, even pale by comparison. During that summer, 22 years ago, a new all-time heat record was established in 17 states, and 15 of those records still stand. The record heat of 1936 left such marks as these: North Dakota, 121, South Dakota, Texas, and Arkansas, 120, Nebraska, 118, Indiana, 116, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Louisiana, 114, Michigan and West Virginia, 112, Pennsylvania, 111, New Jersey and Delaware, 110, Maryland, 109. The summer of 1936 was a scorcher from beginning to end, and on a nationwide basis, we have never had a hotter one. The mercury went above the 100 mark between 75 and 80 days that summer over a wide area of Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Texas. That was the center of the superheated area. But they had 60 days of 100-degree weather and better in parts of South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois, and western Tennessee. There were 45 days of 100-degree temperatures that summer along a line connecting North Dakota, southern Minnesota, the Illinois-Wisconsin border area, and cutting down across Indiana and Kentucky back to Louisiana. The Weather Bureau shows this sort of thing by drawing lines across a U.S. map connecting the places which each had the same number of 100-degree days. The 30-day line on that memorable summer runs from northwest Minnesota down to Chicago, to central Illinois, central Ohio, and southward into central Georgia. The line showing where the summer of 1936 produced 15 days of 100-degree readings runs near Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and on southward through eastern Virginia. In the area of New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, they went through that summer with from 5 to 12 100-degree days. And the areas east and north of Connecticut got through the summer fairly well and had no 100-degree weather at all. The pattern of the excessive heat of 1936 ignored north-south considerations in many ways. For example, Bismarck, North Dakota had a hotter summer than any place in the Carolinas, Georgia, or Florida. Chicago had a hotter summer than New Orleans or Birmingham. Cleveland, Detroit, and Pittsburgh had more 100-degree days than Washington or Baltimore or Central Florida. And this is not a strange pattern either. It is routine in summer heat waves for the greatest heat to develop in the central Midlands west of the Mississippi. Very hot in the interior, cooler near the coasts. Yes, the summers have not been the same since 1936. The most obvious proof of it is that the United States is still inhabited by people instead of camels. When you pass a showroom window full of beautiful new 58 cars, do you say to yourself, "Gee, I wish I could drive one home"? Well, next time, make it positive. Tell yourself, "I'm going to drive that one." You can, you know, and it's much easier than you'd expect with an automobile loan from Provident Tradesmen's Bank and Trust Company. Your loan can be arranged through your dealer to set up a repayment schedule that will fit into your personal budget. You'll repay at low bank interest rates. So decide which of those long, low beauties you'd like to drive. And then your dealer can make arrangements at the nearest Provident Tradesman's office. You'll like the many other services at Provident Tradesmen's Bank and Trust Company, too. Provident Tradesmen's has offices to serve you in Philadelphia, Bucks, Montgomery, and Delaware counties. And that's today's Almanac, brought to you by Provident Tradesmen's Bank and Trust Company, serving the Philadelphia community for over 100 years. Member of the Federal Reserve System and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Almanac can be heard at 7:40 a.m. Monday through Friday, and again at 5:35 p.m.